Right now, on a planet 600 million kilometers away, the largest storm in the solar system is dying. This year, telescopes measured it at the smallest size ever recorded in over 150 years of watching. It's a storm so big it could swallow the Earth whole. It's older than the United States, and within a human lifetime, it may be gone forever. But here's what almost nobody knows. Scientists digging through centuries of old drawings and data found evidence of something impossible. This might not be the first time the Great Red Spot has died, and if that's true, everything we thought we knew about it is wrong. Let's be clear about what we're losing. The Great Red Spot is not a storm the way Earth has storms. Our worst hurricanes live for weeks. This thing has been spinning for centuries. Winds tearing around its edge at over 400 kilometers per hour, in a vortex so large that our entire planet could drop inside and disappear. Think about that. Every hurricane in human history, every typhoon, every cyclone, was born, killed, and forgotten, while this one storm just kept going. Which raises the question scientists couldn't answer for 200 years. What on Jupiter could possibly keep a storm alive that long? Hold that thought. Because the answer is the reason it's dying. In the late 1800s, astronomers measured the spot at roughly 3 Earths wide. When the Voyager probes flew past in 1979, 2 Earths. By 2012, something changed. The shrinking accelerated. The storm's waistline pulling in by around 900 kilometers every year. And in 2026, the Hubble Space Telescope confirmed it. The Great Red Spot is now barely wider than Earth itself, the smallest we have ever seen it. But here's the strange part. As it shrinks, it isn't flattening out like a dying storm should. It's getting taller, stretching upward, changing color, becoming more intensely orange. It's not fading away. It's changing shape, like something under pressure. So what kept it alive for centuries? In 2024, researchers at Yale ran 3D simulations of Jupiter's atmosphere and found the answer. And it's darker than anyone expected. The Great Red Spot is a cannibal. It survives by eating other storms, swallowing the smaller vortices that drift into its path, absorbing their energy. For centuries, Jupiter fed it a steady diet. And now, the meals have stopped coming. Fewer small storms are reaching it. The greatest storm in the solar system is starving to death. What does that ending look like? Quick thing before this next part. Because what I'm about to show you genuinely changed how I saw this storm. If you're finding this interesting, hit follow. It costs you nothing. But before we talk about how it ends, we need to talk about the discovery that changes this entire story. In 1665, the astronomer Giovanni Cassini pointed a telescope at Jupiter and saw it, a giant dark spot, in almost exactly the same place. For 350 years, we assumed it was the same storm. The textbooks said so. Then scientists went back through every drawing, every observation, century by century, and found a hole in the record. Cassini's spot was tracked until 1713, and then, for over a century, nothing. No spot. No storm. Blank. When the Great Red Spot appears in the records again, in 1831, it's in a similar place. But recent studies suggest it is not the same storm. Cassini's spot died, quietly, centuries ago, and nobody on Earth noticed. The permanent storm we grew up with? It may be less than 200 years old. An imposter, wearing a dead storm's face. Which means the Great Red Spot has already died once. And that changes the question entirely. Not when will it die, but If it died and came back before, what exactly are we watching right now? Here's what the end looks like. If the current shrinking continues at this pace, some projections suggest the spot could destabilize within decades, possibly vanishing in around 70 years. It won't explode. Storms on Jupiter die the way Cassini's did. They wobble. They shed long, red ribbons of cloud into the jet streams. They shrink to a pale scar. And then one day, a telescope points at Jupiter and finds nothing there. Every human generation for 200 years has looked up and seen the red spot. Your grandparents saw it. You've seen it in every picture of Jupiter ever taken. The children born late this century may only know it the way we know Cassini's spot, as a drawing in an archive. You are alive inside the ending of something that has outlived empires. But remember the imposter, because that discovery cuts both ways. If Jupiter grew this storm once, in the same latitude band, inside the same jet streams, then the machine that builds red spots still exists. Nothing about Jupiter's atmosphere has fundamentally changed. On Neptune, the Hubble telescope has literally watched giant dark storms vanish, and new ones bloom a few years later. So maybe this isn't an extinction. Maybe it's a cycle, a slow heartbeat, one beat per few centuries, and we just happen to be alive during the space between beats. The great red spot may die, and decades later, next century maybe, a small red eye may open again in Jupiter's clouds and begin to feed. Here's what this storm really teaches us. We call things permanent when they simply outlast us. The red spot, the ice caps, the stars themselves. But everything in this universe is a process, not an object, and every process ends. We just live too briefly to see it. This time, for once, we're living at exactly the right moment to watch it happen. So here's my question, and I genuinely want to know what you think. When the spot fades, is that a death, or just the pause before a rebirth? Drop your answer below. Team death or team rebirth? And I'll pin the best argument. And if this felt big, consider this. The red spot isn't the only permanent thing scheduled to disappear while you're alive. What's vanishing next is much closer to home. That's the next video. If you made it this far, you're the kind of person this channel is built for. Follow InfoFect, hit like, and send this to the one person you know who'd argue about it. Every share genuinely helps this reach people who'd love it. If this made you look at Jupiter differently, tap follow and share it.